now listening to the Good Bad Advice Podcast with Stephanie and Chase.
Hello.
Welcome, you guys, to the Good Bad Advice Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Chase.
And I'm Stephanie.
And I'm so happy to be back alive, giving advice to people in the news who didn't ask for it. It was the roughest week, like 7 days solid.
No, I'm actually surprised you could sing today.
I have my little steroid and my fancy cough medicine prescription grade to like keep the coffee under control. But if I do cough, if any cough that I have on the episode, if you're listening, you should just treat yourself to a little treat. So every time I cough, just be like, treat. Get a bag of like peanut butter M&Ms or something. And every time there's a little cough, because I'm confident there will be some. Yeah. I don't think I can just get out of it. But so much better. Death was knocking on my door like a Jehovah's Witness wanting to spread a message. And I was like, sorry, busy. Sorry, I don't believe. I already have a faith I go to. Like, I was not letting him in.
Oh my gosh,
and
that is
Steven
amazing.
was gone. So I was just in the house.
You were a lonely, sick
for
person.
5 days by myself, sick. I mean, thank God my neighbor Cass is a nurse, and so she came over a couple of times to like check my vitals.
Oh.
And then I had my mom stop by several times, and Megan and Ethan had stopped by on Sunday to like just kind of check in. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I was definitely...
You were in quarantine.
I was in my self-imposed quarantine, and there were times where, like, you know how time just effectively stops? Mm-hmm. And you're like, wait, what day is it? What time is it? What do I have to do? The only people who didn't really appreciate that I was sick were my clients.
Ooh.
So that was a real banger. It was so interesting to me because I would be like, hello, hey, sorry, I've got influenza A and I really feel terrible. You called twice. I figured it was an emergency.
And
then clients would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're sick.
So anyway.
And there's a couple of things I wanted to go over really quick. And then I was like, okay, this doesn't sound like an emergency. Can we handle it next week? Sure, why don't I send you up an email? And then if you could just get back to me tomorrow. In fact, the very first day that I was super sick, I was like delirious. Mm-hmm. And I got permission from the court and opposing counsel to move a hearing that we had. Yeah. And I called my client and was like, hey, I really don't even think I could put together like coherent sentences. I want to effectively represent you, but I just don't. I think in my medical condition right now, that's not possible. So I got permission. We're going to move it for 2 weeks out. Does that work for you? And he dead A says to me, no, I think I'd rather just get this taken care of tomorrow morning. So if you could still, I mean, you sound coherent on the phone right now. So hopefully you get some good sleep, but you feel better in the morning. And I don't know if it was just like the loss of power or like being so disrespected or something.
No, that's crazy.
No, then I had to wake up the next morning. I did the hearing remotely, not camera. So I just was like, I just was wearing a robe. Yeah. I looked and sounded so awful that the judge about 2/3 of the way through was like, why don't we wrap this up so that Mr. Walker can get back to hopefully healing and feeling better.
That's the only time I've ever wished you would lose so that guy could get his just
we don't
desserts.
know what happened. The judge took it under advisement to wrap it up really quickly. Yeah. So I was like a little bit like, that's karma for you, buddy. You wanted a resolution today, and now we're going to be gone even longer than had we just done 2 weeks.
Yeah, now you just have the waiting period.
Yeah. And I also am aware enough to know that I'm absolutely dramatic as hell.
I was going to say, we are very dramatic people, both of us. Obviously. It does not pay off well when you are sick, because I feel like people don't believe you, and you have to be like, no, I'm actually sick.
No, like, I don't think even you fully believed me until I canceled doing the podcast.
No, we tried so hard to get an episode out to you guys last week.
So hard.
Like, every single day we were like, what? Okay, let's plan on tomorrow morning. And then we text each other in the morning. Chase would be like, no.
I'm like, it's not happening.
I don't
have a voice. I am super. The thing also about getting influenza A, and I have this stupid heart condition.
Yeah.
I actually have my little heart monitor on. I did lose the monitor device. I was like, gotta find that.
I was gonna tell you.
Sorry, cardiologist. But so I couldn't take normal medication.
Yeah.
I had to get all this like weird stuff. And so I really was.
You were not well.
Not well.
Honestly, at the beginning of the week, when we were scheduling, I was like, oh, he's like really not feeling well. And then like by the second time that we rescheduled, I was like, oh, he's almost dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was a general, and also not having like Steve in there and not having anyone else to like really take care of me. I mean, like Chelsea did a really nice thing and did a grocery pickup for me, and my mom brought food and whatever. And so like there was that, but also not having anybody there to kind of like witness how sick I was.
Yeah.
And so then when people would check in on me and be like, how you doing? And I'm like, okay, if I'm honest, and I'm like, today I thought my dead grandmother came and visited me to take me to the other side. I know that they're going to think I'm being over the top and extra, which, be that as it may, I still was visited by a being to bring me to the other side. Like,
also, unfortunately, despite all of the great things about you, you are still a man.
Oh, yeah,
and men being sick, like, you already are at a disadvantage.
I know I fit squarely between like man cold and actual needing chemo.
No, but you were.
But I was for sure, like, I was in the bandwidth of that. Like, I sweated through, like, and we've had this dialogue about how frequently I change my sheets. Yeah. I sweated through my sheets so many times that at one point I had to change my sheets in the middle of the night twice because my body was so hot. I sweat so naturally that it was like I was like trying to sleep in a wet beach towel.
Ew.
I was that sweaty and then clammy, and I have my bed jet going and fans going.
Worst part about being sick.
Yes.
The night sweats that you get when you're when sick and you wake up and your neck is wet. Like,
oh, honey, it was not just my
torture
neck.
Torture me instead.
It looked like someone had just taken a giant watering can and soaked me and then like kissed me on the forehead and then left the room. Like, that's like, see you soon. Like, oh no. But the best part about it was Steven didn't get sick.
Wow.
He was there for the first like day and a half. And also for the record, we took one of those at-home flu tests. Mm-hmm. Not accurate.
No.
Because it was like negative. So I said, oh, it's not the flu. So I waited another day until I ended up going into the hospital. And then they're like, you have influenza A. You should have come in here. When did the symptoms start? I'm like, oh, like 2 days ago. They're like, why? 3 days ago. Why don't you come in here? And I was like, because I took the at-home test and it said not flu, not COVID, whatever. And I was like, liars. So I'm so happy to like feel back to myself. I really was so sad to not be able to do the podcast.
No, the way that we tried every single day since last Monday. Yeah. Every single day until Sunday, I think. And you were like,
okay, let's talk this upcoming week. I can't not do it again. And it was really sweet. People, so you know how we were joking, like, oh, no one really will notice because we nobody listen. I had a bunch of people write me being like, where's the episode? You good? I can't believe you're really sick.
After we posted the photo of you being
which
sick.
Which is so funny.
It was so funny.
Stacy yesterday ran into her at Harmon's and she was like, I saw that picture of you and I texted Megan and was like, this has to be a prank. Why did he superimpose his face on a person with a blanket and a gurney?
Because it's funny.
And I was like, oh, well, I had that idea when I told Stephanie. And I was like, hey, we're going to have to announce that I'm not doing the episode and that I'm really sick. I want to use the clip from Vicky Gunvalson leaving.
Covering her head with the sheet.
Covering her head when she's like too hungover.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Honestly, so funny. I had somebody message on our Good Bad Advice account and was like, thank you for finally posting this because I've been refreshing my podcast app. I'm like, ooh, sorry. We waited as long as we could to post that because we were like, oh, we're going to record. Oh, we're going to record. Yeah. Oh, we're going to record.
Oh, like there were multiple times I was like, if I'm doing a court hearing, because I still had to do maybe 4 or 5 last week.
Jeez.
And I just was like coughing.
Which like you shouldn't have done anyway.
No, and I tried to get out of them. And
should we talk about the boundaries you have with your clients?
Well, it's like a client boundary issue, and then it's also like opposing counsel, like, no joke, but like most attorneys are kind of dickheads.
Yeah, no, they do not care that you're sick.
They do not care.
They're like, in fact, at least I'll finally win against Chase Walker if he's sick and impeded.
There's
then
some
I
truth
might
to
win.
that. There's this opposing counsel right now that's just like, ugh, drives me nuts, and he's a bit of a bully, and so he just keeps trying to like shove something through the courts, and I just do not let it happen. So I said to my dad yesterday, "Oh, so and so is being so annoying." And I was like, he's used to just kind of getting his way, but I'm not going to back down. My dad goes, "We should warn him that you will never back down.
Yeah.
And that is a dangerous road to try to
you will die
traverse."
on.
Yeah. I'm willing to die on a lot of hills, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
But I do have content review because I watched an ungodly amount of TV.
Before you get into that, though.
Yeah.
I have to say happy birthday to Traven.
Oh my gosh, Traven, happy birthday.
It is Traven's birthday today. The 6th is the day that we are recording.
Yes.
He will hear it on the 7th, 8th, or 9th because it takes him a few days to listen. He likes to watch on YouTube.
We're extending the birthday celebration. We're
extending your birthday. Traven is...
2 treats.
He is the best. I literally like to say, like, I don't know about soulmates, but I met my perfect half. He is... everything that I needed in a spouse and more, and he is so wonderful, and I just want to wish him the best birthday ever.
He's a really good dad. I love seeing him with his kiddo. I think he's a really great spouse. He has a really fun sense of humor, which I love. A little quirky sense of humor, which is kind of like the perfect
dark
type. Yeah, a little dark for sure.
But you have to when you have a dead parent.
When I see his videos on social and he's like benching a shiz ton of weight and squatting, I'm like,
strong.
You could lift a car.
Yeah.
You are like, when people are like, that person had superhuman strength, I'm like, no, they just went to the gym. Like, that is how I feel about, like, Traven and I. If you are trapped underneath a car, and we both love you differently but equally.
I would ask Traven to help.
What I would ask Traven, I'd be like, oh gosh, get Traven. Where's Traven? I can't do the car thing.
And I'd be there being like, no, I have adrenaline enough to do it. You'd be like, get Traven.
fully.
So that's so good.
Happy birthday. I remember when you guys first started dating, and I think I'm trying to remember exactly the text because I said it when I officiated your wedding, about you saying something like your girl's catching the feels was your first text about him.
Yeah.
And it was so cute too. It's so fun to watch someone you love so much fall in love with somebody and have such a good relationship that way. So
there really is like a different type of joy when, like, you are so used to being your best friend's person.
Yeah.
Like, of just like, I'm the person that brings you the most amount of joy. And like when they have something like that for them, it is like so rewarding for your friendship to be like, oh, somebody's taking care of you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Amen.
Happy birthday, Traven.
Happy birthday, Traven. I hope. What do you guys gonna do to celebrate?
We're doing tri-tip tonight. That's his favorite tri-tip, and then we have like a couple of different celebrations and
fun.
Going to
we
dinner.
should probably go to dinner or something at some point and celebrate.
Love that idea.
All right, content review. I saw Beef. I watched all of Beef.
Was it good? Oh, okay. Phenomenal.
I think it was deserving of every award.
Oh, because it got a lot this year.
It won the Emmys and the Goldens for like limited series.
What's the vibe?
The vibe is dark.
Treat.
No, you counterbalance. You counterbalance the treats.
Throw up your last treat.
No, you have to have an apple. It's a slice of an apple or something.
Yeah, no, actually, we do not promote eating disorders.
You don't.
I don't.
Oh, yeah, no, clearly. What I loved about Beef was to be like a really dark humor, which I love.
Yes.
And also shock value. Like there were 3 or 4 times I fully grabbed my mouth.
Yeah.
Shocked. So
wow. Okay.
I liked Beef. That's my number one
dark
thing.
Dark comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I actually kind of love. It was very Asian, so there was just a lot of like cultural references and dynamics, which I thought they handled informatively without being like preachy or overly critical.
Yeah, so it just was like an Asian experience.
I watched the other 2 of Harlan Coben's series on. Oh, before I forget, remember how we made a job offer to Lauren 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I went to brunch with her in the meantime, and she accepts. So
okay, great.
Lauren is our official fact checker. She did tell me that I was pronouncing Harlan Coben's name correctly.
Oh, good.
In the edit from last week. That's
Great.
what made me
I'm
think
so
of
happy.
it. So I watched Harlan Coben's Safe, and now Harlan right now has the series Fool Me Once, which is on Netflix. A really, really prolific thriller writer with a lot of twists.
Yes. Okay.
I've now watched all 3 of his Netflix series.
Okay.
And phenomenal. I do think Fool Me Once was the best.
Okay.
But I liked Safe, and then the other one was meh.
Okay.
But I watched those. I got all caught up on The Morning Show. Jennifer Aniston.
I haven't watched
Reese
season
Witherspoon
2. Is there a 3?
3.
I haven't seen either seasons.
It was pretty good.
Okay.
So many like A-list, B-list actors in that.
Yeah.
That would be a crazy set to be on. But it was
Yeah.
like Anatomy of a Scandal. That is with Naomi Watts. It's on Netflix, and Michelle Dockery.
Yeah.
From Downton Abbey. Really, really good.
Yep.
Super dark, very triggering. Essay triggering.
Yikes.
But the acting was sensational. I did not see a twist coming. Wow. It was really, really good.
Okay.
I watched Migration, the duck.
Oh, the duck movie. Was it good?
Oh my gosh, it was so cute. It's kind of like Rio, but like Farm Rio.
Farm Rio.
And I liked a lot of it. I think they had some
Hillbilly
really
Rio.
funny jokes. Yeah, it's like hillbilly down. It's Louisiana Rio, which I kind of lived for. And then what I did not live for was I watched Wish.
Ooh, yeah.
Look, bad.
I've heard
Bad
it is bad. I've
concept,
heard it is
bad
like a bad
acting.
musical.
Yes.
All I have heard that was funny is the goat.
Yeah,
the movie I've heard the goat is funny.
Yeah, and
but I've heard that
wasn't
from
like
6-year-olds. So
yeah, don't listen to the 6-year-old. It was not funny. Here's the thing. Clearly I was in a series, and looking back at how dramatic of the shows I was willing to watch. Yeah. Now some of that's just because Steven doesn't watch anything super dramatic or dark, and so I was binging it while he was gone. But I was not in like a super lighthearted, let's just watch a funny. And so maybe Wish would have landed differently if I was in a better place, but not great.
Too bad.
So that is my content review. Now, how are you? Update us.
Oh my gosh, I'm doing great. I didn't almost die from influenza A this week, so I'm doing a lot better than you.
Yes.
We watched Shrek 2 this weekend.
Shrek 2 came out in 2004 because I just watched this thing about 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
The Shrek series I should rewatch because it's really, really good.
So funny. Like, I wasn't even really paying attention during it because the Grammys were happening at the same time. So I was literally like refreshing Twitter, figuring out what was happening. But it is so funny. Mm-hmm. The references in that movie, like, are hilarious.
Now, did Mike Myers help write Shrek?
I don't know.
Because
I
would not be
have
surprised.
no idea, but it's so good.
Because it's adult good.
Yep. It is
it's
adult
down the
humor.
test of time good.
Yeah,
it deserves its own attraction. It got a show on Broadway good.
Yeah, and there is so many little jokes. It's like you rewatch it and you're suddenly like, oh, I've never heard that before. Or I never got that reference before. It's like even when they go into the town of far, far away, there's like a Starbucks, but it's like very Fairyland themed, and like a Burger Prince instead of a Burger King, like, or maybe it's like Prince Burger or something like that. But honestly, so funny.
Speaking of just Burger King, I've been in TikTok. I've been in roast battles. Like roast battle talk, so people that are roasting each other, but it's in a battle. There's like it's like a TV show in the UK. Yeah. And one of them, there was this larger African American, I guess African British woman, African woman. Lauren, correct me on how I'm supposed to do that. And he kept taking like famous historical people, but then making it seem like they're fat because this woman was overweight.
Okay, yes.
So he called her at one point Martin Luther Burger King. And I'm not kidding you. I was laughing so hard.
That's a good word. Speaking of that.
3. And no, he did not write it. It's actually based on a book series a book called Shrek by William Steig.
Oh.
It was not even produced by Mike Myers. Maybe some of the other ones were. And then it was written by Ted Elliott, Terry Rossio, John Stillman, and Roger S. Shulman.
When we were watching it at the very end of Shrek 2, spoilers, when he's like, do you want to turn back? And she's like, I want to be with the man I love, the ogre I married. And Bailey goes, hey, Dad, is that what Stephanie said at the altar? I cracked up.
It's so funny.
I was like, honestly, she ate with that one. That was so good.
Yum, yum.
No, we cackled. And Traven was like so gooped. Funny. And then he just started laughing because it's
the ogre I married.
Laugh at your children if they're being funny.
That needs to be merch. That needs to be merch for that Shrek the Musical sells on Broadway.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's still
ogre
on.
I married.
Yeah, okay. Also, I was just looking up. So Ted Elliott is this screenwriter who wrote Shrek. Listen to the movies he's written.
Ted Elliott an actor as well? Or no?
Maybe, but this guy's just and he has a writing partner, Terry Rossio.
Okay.
Listen to what they've written.
Okay.
Speaking of just like, okay, I'm going to go off here.
Got it.
Forget Lin-Manuel Miranda. I am not on the Lin-Manuel Miranda train. I find him overhyped. I find him a one-trick pony. So he wrote Hamilton. Well done. I'll give you that.
Right Into the Heights?
Yeah, but it's very, very similar. I'm saying like the sound, the vibe, whatever.
He has the same cadence for all of his writing.
This man, Ted Elliott, is the person we should really be talking about. Now, okay, so he did Aladdin, The Little Monsters, The Mask of Zorro, Godzilla, Small Soldiers, which I actually loved Small Soldiers. That's so good. The Road to El Dorado, Shrek, Treasure Planet, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, National Treasure, The Legend of Zorro, Instant Karma, Pirates of the Caribbean.
This man has
Pirates
ideas.
Of the Caribbean, National Treasure, Book of Secrets, G-Force, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Lone Ranger, The New Aladdin, and then the upcoming Pirates of the Caribbean film.
He is just popping out
ideas. He also did the movie Ants, Sinbad, Shrek 2, and Jake and the Neverland Pirates. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is, talk about leaving a mark in culture.
No, that's amazing.
This man has done a ton.
I did this the other day with, I was talking about the movie Monster House, which is one of the funniest movies that's ever been made. It's so underrated. People who haven't seen it, watch it at Halloween Town or literally anytime. And I was like, I really have got to watch other things of the guy who has written this movie. I looked it up. He wrote Community, which is
like epic,
one of the funniest shows of all time. Not PC, but
I love that Community
so
pushed.
Funny. And then I found out he also is the writer of Rick and Morty, which I wouldn't have put myself in the Rick and Morty category, but
here we are.
I was like, I guess now I have to watch Rick and Morty because I said I have to watch more of what this guy has written, and I have watched Community, and I have watched Monster House, and I guess I now have to watch Rick and Morty.
That's one thing I need to do a better job at. If there's a movie that I love, I should look at who wrote it and then see other movies. Like that's the good sort of like spider web you go down and then to kind of flush out vibes.
Agreed. It's like directors and writers.
Yes.
That's who you should be following what they're doing.
Yeah, instead of I mean, I also do generally live and die by if there are like a Julia Roberts film, it almost always slaps. I mean, there's a couple films of hers that were like, well, but the vast majority of them are pretty good. Yeah. If you're that echelon, then you're pretty choosy.
It's kind of weird now, though, like how Julia Roberts is not getting like the A+ star movies.
Right. I also watched the one that was on Netflix, Mahershala Ali. She's kind of like, she's great, but she's kind of losing charm to me. They've taken her out of like that sort of charming, opposed to like Drew Barrymore, I think will be timelessly charming. Like she will be, as Sandra Bullock will always be charming. Did you see?
There was an interview with her and Austin Butler.
Yes, I did see
where he's like kind of like biting his lip and like lusting after her during the interview. Which, honestly, I kind of flip-flop on Drew Barrymore and her interviews because she sits so close to people and is, like, so over the top. And sometimes I watch it and I'm like, wow, this is so heartfelt and genuine. And sometimes I watch it and I'm like, this is extremely cringy.
Yeah, for me, I think that she comes by it honestly, her eccentricities. Yeah. But they're just a little unmeasured for...
It ruins her credibility.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that.
So I think there is vulnerability, and then I think there is vulnerability that makes you feel like you're being vulnerable because you're being a truth teller. You're just saying everything that comes to your mind. And so you're like, I'm a vulnerable person. But really, like, you're just word vomiting.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like she's just word vomiting. And that, but like,
I feel like sometimes we're just word
100%.
Like,
that's a problem.
Guilty.
That's a problem that I have that like literally I've spoken to a therapist about. Like, I feel like I like say a lot. I'm super vulnerable. And he's like, is that
not
like
the same thing?
Like, he's like, I don't like, I'm
not
like
a one for one.
Oh, okay. I see that now. Like, so sometimes it just feels a little over the top, but
yeah.
Who isn't?
I was going to say, pot and kettle for us. Okay, let's get into some stories. Yes. Because we also are going to do our Traitors update and our Stardust review. And then I have picked February's movie of the month, which I'm very excited about. So let's get into it. The very first story that we have to talk about are the Grammys. Yeah. Now, I actually watched all of the Grammys because I was on death's door waiting for Steven to get home. And Sweet Angel Baby, got his flights wrong. So he was like, hey, I'll be home at 2. Yay. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. That's going to be so great. Just kidding. That's when I get to Georgia and then we don't fly out until the evening and then I get home late. And I was like, I love that for me. And the crock pot meal I started thinking you were going to be home. But here's the list of the awards. See all awards. Let me just hit.
The biggest wins of the night, most like notary, record of the year went to Flowers by Miley Cyrus.
Yes.
She also got Song of the Year.
Yes. And no.
I thought it was
performance. She got song and then pop performance.
Pop performance
for
Flowers.
Because that was her very first Grammy win. Ugh. She looked terrible with the hair. I know she was thanking her main gays for helping her look good. The hair was bad, but the outfit was fire. Her Barbarella, I get the reference for the red carpet.
I did not like her hair in her red carpet look. During her performance, though, I was like, iconic.
Yeah, I think she was trying.
The photo of her singing... like that is now going like everywhere. I'm like, I said to Gabby yesterday, I'm like, hang it up in a Hard Rock cafe. Like that is a legendary photo. The big hair, it's very Tina Turner, which is kind of what she was trying to do in her performance anyway. Yep. So I get that reference. On the carpet, it looked a little bit like she was electrocuted.
Yes.
So
and when she was electrocuted, all of her clothes fell off. Mm-hmm. That is kind of the vibe, and she was just left with like weird meshing.
There was a couple of people that I was like, "Is that your areola?"
Doja Cat?
Yeah.
That was not. Is that your areola? I think it was actually half of her areola. Like at one point, the tip of the nipple was looking to just come right over the.
And I'm not even like a person who's like, let's like sexualize that, but I was like, is this like
It just, to me,
are we doing
it's kind of like
now?
what we talked about a little bit with Sierra's gold leafing.
Yeah.
Vibe, concept, love. Execution, sloppy.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about Doja Cat, execution, sloppy. Let's go through the winners first, then we'll have our thoughts because you have your thoughts. Best country album went to Lainey Wilson. I was actually really sad for Kelsey Ballerini and Zach Bryan. I would have loved them to have won. I've actually been really getting into...
Was he?
No, we're not nominated. But I have been getting into country a ton because Oliver really likes country. And so I've been listening to a ton, which has been fun. SZA won Best R&B Song for Snooze.
And when she ran onto the stage.
I know, the absolute cutest. And then to know that she was opening with Lizzo 15 years ago in little teeny venues. And then Lizzo was performing or presenting her Grammy. It's really cool, full circle. Best Pop Vocal Album went to Taylor Swift's Midnight. It's her 13th win. We're going to talk about, we're going to come back. I'm just going to do the things first. What Was I Made For won Song of the Year. Best New Artist went to Victoria Monet. Record of the Year went to Flowers by Miley Cyrus. The Album of the Year was Midnights by Taylor Swift. And that was arguably the big win of the night.
Yeah.
So my thoughts. 1, Taylor's announcement was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfectly awkward with her like kind of buffing the Grammy.
So awkward.
But her new album name is so perfect for her.
Yep.
To me, I love also just people were in full Reputation costume, watching it, thinking it was when the announcement was going to happen. And then I saw this TikTok of a guy dressed up as a complete snake.
Yeah, no.
And then he just like takes the headdress off.
The Swifties were clowning. We thought it was Rep TV. Her website was shut down and there were scrambled up letters, which unscrambled meant red herring. So she gooped and gagged us. She gooped everybody.
She had everybody in her inner circle posting updating their profile pictures to black and white.
Yeah.
A la Reputation tour, and then joke it was actually to promote her new album.
Yeah.
She is without question a evil genius witch.
Yeah, no. And honestly,
I saw that thing I sent you about April 19th was the start of the American Revolution.
That was also the day that everybody of her friends started unfollowing Joe Alwyn. April 19th.
And
this woman is
welcome to America.
masterful.
Travis Kelce has to feel like there's nothing more American than the American Revolution. That's the most I do not care who you are. When you're like,
we got a day to
rid of
celebrate
the Brits though. we have a lot of stuff. We got to sort out our own stuff here in America, but we got rid of Britain, baby.
Yeah,
that bonds every political party, every generation. Like you could talk to a grandparent and like a young kid be like, but we got out of Great Britain.
Yeah.
And so I'm obsessed with that. And then I love also that it's National Cat Lady Day is April 19th. Just
She's
the
gorgeous.
layered.
I don't understand how she layers all of these things. If it's not there are so many things that you're like, is this a coincidence? I don't know, but it's scary. It's weird that it happened twice.
Yeah, for me, I just think she lives in the omnipresence world where everything somehow is omnipresent for her.
She's on a higher plane.
She is. Her brain is just, I don't know if God loves her
Didn't
more.
Love the dress, though.
No, the outfit was terrible. I get that it was a Schiaparelli.
Yeah,
and
and
Schiaparelli's
Schiaparelli
the name right now.
Oh, their fashions are amazing right now. But I was just kind of like, meh.
Yeah, I just was not feeling it.
No.
The hair was also problematic to me. I think the dress would have been better if it was a sleek back, not something so gothy, Victorian-y. But anyway, okay, Miley's performance. That was her first Grammy win, which is cool for her. But my favorite part is when she says, "Do not act like you don't know this song."
Yeah, why are you guys acting like you don't know this song?
To the people of the Grammy stuff, first off, Taylor was getting criticized for being the only one standing up dancing for SZA and for different artists.
Why is she being criticized for that?
No, because if you're an artist, what you ultimately feed off of is the energy of the crowd. So the audience has a responsibility to the artist to pour in, right?
Yes.
And I know that because of Steven. So he's very honest about, hey, the energy of the crowd can absolutely affect the show.
Yeah.
The Grammys are a bunch of snobs. The people that went to the Grammys are snobs. I want VMA where it's us being invited and we are living our best life, feeding the artist, and then you get better performances. Mm-hmm. That's clearly what she was doing, but I'm glad Miley kind of called it out to be like, what are we all doing here? Don't act like you don't know. What do we do? Well, this is a concert. Stand up and sing and dance, and don't be so I'm wearing Gucci. I'm going to just sit here and be a judgy beast.
Yeah, no, it was, what I did love is there was somebody posted on TikTok who was at the Grammys, had a perfect view of Taylor and the main stage and was just posting videos of every time that she was standing for other people. That is an artist who supports other artists.
Agreed.
And then it was kind of interesting when she announced her new album and all of them were like, okay,
another loss.
Another year
of Taylor Swift.
You could see the
contempt
on all
the
of
fatigue
on all
and
of the
people
bases.
4 albums in 4 years, and then I'll cut to everybody in the music industry. We know.
Yeah, we
know. Take a breath,
we
babe.
Know.
Take a breather. But I also am thinking there's no way she's going to tour this album.
I don't think she will.
There's no way she can do an era.
She might do them like surprise songs, but I don't think.
This is going to be a different thing. I think what's going to happen is she's going to have done this, have the album come out, have everybody freaking out about the album, and then marriage, baby. And then I think she can take a little bit of a breather, do her family.
This tour goes through the majority of this year. Like, it goes through December. Right. I think that, like, that will end. She probably won't perform any of the songs. She might add, like, one to the set list, but probably not.
Right.
And then she'll release Rep TV and Taylor Swift sometime in this year.
Yep.
And then the new album, that's pretty much her love letter to Travis, pending they stay together, will be beginning of.
I want to make sure that the universe knows Chase Walker did not put out the possibility of them not being together.
I don't think that they will ever break up, but I'm trying to protect myself from the pain that would cause me. Like,
I'm trying to protect all of my latest Abercrombie purchases of Kansas City merch. Because I have those for Super Bowl, and I have all this Kansas City, which I'd still support because my mom loves Kansas City. She loves Patrick Mahomes. I actually love football. So it's like I could still become, like, I got kind of baptized into Kansas City through my parents and Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be a waste for me, but it would be very uncomfortable. Yeah. Because I also have a lot of Taylor Swift merch.
It will hurt me if they ever do. And I don't think that they will. I actually think they're perfect for each other in every single way. But I think that's when we'll get the album about Travis is next year, beginning of next year.
Okay. Fantasia, going up, asking people if they can dance, going up to Dua Lipa, kind of clocking some of the other people leading up to it, like white people, so they're not going to dance. Yep. And then just Blue Ivy looking at Fantasia doing like a weird, it was a lot.
It was a lot. But I loved her for it. It was so good.
I loved her for it because it was a little cringe, which I live. Billie Eilish, so underwhelming. I'm sorry.
How dare you? Every time she sings that song, I cry.
You know, it's a beautiful song. I just think if you have the option, and maybe they'll pull some beautiful performance out at the Oscars when they perform it there. Yeah. It just seems to me like she has a lot of opportunities to really lean into her artistry. Mm-hmm. And I think every time I've seen her perform that song, a la, like what she did on SNL was really cool with the pictures that have done something different. This felt underwhelming. I would have loved like Margot Robbie to have been there, or America Ferrera, or the Barbies to come out, or different dancers to come out as Barbies who are growing up. And it could have been bigger.
I would love for the Oscars performance if she came out in like the ball gown of those like Barbie dolls that stay in a case, like
the Christmas special Barbies or whatever, the holiday Barbie.
If she came out in one of those gowns and just sang it in this huge, massive.
Yes, or like I would love it if she was in a Barbie box. So they bring
her outfit was a Barbie.
Yeah.
It was like a vintage Barbie.
Yeah.
The one with the headdress.
But I would have just loved, I would love Oscar performance to be like, she's in a Barbie box singing, and then slowly breaks out of the Barbie box. She's got the twines on her hand. She's like freeing herself. Like something more than just sitting there. It's just underwhelming to me. That would actually make
it cringy to me.
I know, I don't know what it would be, but I want something to be different than just her sitting there singing. Yeah. Okay. Lacey Musgraves also announced a new album. Casey.
Lacey Musgraves.
I don't know why I wrote why. I think this autocorrected it to Casey.
Casey.
Casey also announced her new album via Instagram by posting a new picture of herself. Okay, Joni Mitchell's performance. Brandi Carlile. I worship at the house of Brandi Carlile. Yeah. Her introducing and then singing with Joni Mitchell. Imagine being Joni flippin' Mitchell. Yeah. And she wrote Both Sides Now, which is Steven's very favorite song of all time. Yeah. If he ever gets asked, like, what's his favorite song? And I cried really hard during that. Steven got emotional. It was really cool to be 80 and have that be your first time performing at the Grammys. Yeah. It was amazing. And then she won for Best. Travis Scott.
Have we not forgotten that due to his negligence, like 10 people died? Like, why is he performing at the Grammys? That it was a weird performance.
And the performance was very
like,
violent. I did not like it. It made me feel very much like, why do we have a violent problem in America?
Yeah. No, I just was kind of like,
listening to this.
Why is he performing?
Yeah.
That was my main feeling. So it's like, what?
He didn't have even.
No one asked for this.
He didn't win rap.
No.
I don't think he.
And no one asked for it.
Yeah. Just like nobody really asked for you two. You have feelings about that.
Okay. Stop trying to make you two happen.
I thought it was actually pretty cool being in the Sphere and to see it and to kind of get a cool vibe.
No.
But I know that you did not love that.
No.
Oh, for me, Beyonce was best dressed. I loved her outfit. I thought it was super cool for it to be Louis Vuitton, but with like a cowboy hat and her platinum hair. I thought she looked
I love the
stunning.
platinum hair. My feelings about
Jay-Z kind of messed it up.
Here's the thing. Is Jay-Z wrong? Absolutely not. She has won the most Grammys of anyone ever. And the fact that she hasn't won Album of the Year is criminal.
Yes.
My main thing is these men have got to stop getting on stage and speaking for Beyonce.
Yeah. She looked very uncomfortable.
So did Blue Ivy, which she's a stage mom. Don't bring my baby up on stage and make her stand there while you embarrass yourself.
Yeah, this is not the 2009
No, she
VMAs.
got mad after.
She got mad. That was an elevator ride that I also wanted to be in.
Yeah,
because she was like, do not be acting a fool. She was even
nominated
for anything this year.
No.
What are we doing?
No.
Wait, so did Renaissance just not get nominated?
Renaissance was the year prior.
Okay.
And that's when the videos went viral. Harry won. And people started yelling.
Got it.
That Beyonce should have won. And that's when Taylor stood up because everybody was seated. And she stood up and stood there for Harry while he was talking. And I was like, oh, that was like really sweet. But also,
get security.
Beyonce should have won.
Yeah. But just don't do that. It was just an awkward thing. And then, of course, to me, the star of the night was Celine Dion walking out. When they led, Stephen was home by this point, and so when it was like one of the best vocals of all time, and Stephen at first was like, I think it looks a little, because it was blurred. They didn't show, it was just like a silhouette of. Stephen's like, that almost looks like it could be like a Sam Smith almost. And I was like, okay, what? I love him, but there's no possible way he'd be described as, first off, giving away
the bulky jacket.
What?
It's just because the jacket was created on this.
But she looked great.
She looked healthy, which is like all you can hope for.
I was obviously a little disappointed that Taylor didn't acknowledge Celine. She let kind of the excitement of the award get the better of her. It was a little...
The juxtaposition also of Miley being like obsessed with Mariah and Taylor like barely acknowledging Celine, at least for we know on stage.
And like we're pretty honest about Taylor Swift because I also want to point out that she made a huge mistake by dragging Lana Del Rey up.
I did not like that.
Very uncomfortable. She's on one song, Snow on the Beach. You could barely hear.
Here's why she did it. Lana Del Rey has been nominated for Album of the Year many a time. The Grammy, like voting. Academy, whatever, votes, and she never wins. And specifically, like they add, thoughts when they vote. Lana Del Rey did a SNL performance in like 2012. She was very inebriated and it was not good. It was very bad. And people will like write in on the Grammy things like, I haven't taken Lana Del Rey seriously since that SNL performance.
Okay.
It's been like however many years of her not getting her flowers. So I believe that bringing her up, however misguided, I did not appreciate it. She did not want to go on that stage. She felt very uncomfortable
to watch.
To give her flowers is like part of what I really love about Taylor Swift is like with her friends. Yeah. She is extremely supportive, even to a degree that they might not be comfortable with, to which you can also argue, like, is that the moment then?
Right.
Besides, like, you could have just posted a photo with Lana after.
Particularly because Lana Del Rey was nominated for the same award. Taylor Swift won it. And then Taylor Swift's almost like, hey, since you'll never be up here, on your own merit, I'll drag you up here.
Yeah.
I think is how it could have read. I don't know their dynamic and their friendship. I know that they came together. I know that on the red carpet, Taylor Swift was caught saying like, hey, where's Lana? Hang on, bring Lana with me. There was a bunch of pictures of them together being like Elphaba and Glinda or whatever. And Lana Del Rey was in all black. Taylor was basically in all white. Like, I get maybe that was the vibe, but so uncomfy. I did not like it. Taylor fumbled, to use a football analogy, a la Travis Kelce. Taylor fumbled her last win. Her first win was great to announce the album.
I don't think she thought she was going to win. I think that was the problem.
I agree. And so it felt overly... I wanted her to be better.
This is what I'm just like worried about in the general consensus is like Taylor gets to a peak of fame and then we literally microscopically pick apart everything that she does till like people are fatigued. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, why I get more defensive of her in times. I'm like, I can be honest and say that that was weird. And it was weird that she didn't acknowledge Celine. And I thought it was weird to walk up and go, this is my 13th Grammy. Like, but I just am like, I don't want to like delve into the criticism of her constantly because I just am like,
it's already maybe disproportionate.
Yeah, it's way disproportionate to what other people get. But like, she also is the biggest star in the world. So I don't know, some would say this is what you get. I don't know. That's fatigued, like, of the Taylor Swift of it all, of people just being like, she's overrated. And I'm like,
oh no, I don't think she's overrated. I just don't think she's a god. So I think she could be imperfect. And then me to say like, oh, hey, I didn't love this about her. Yeah. I don't love that it's either, sometimes it gets pitted as either like, you have to be praying at the altar of Taylor Swift, or you have to be like nailing her to the cross. Yeah. And I'm sit a little bit, obviously I'm much more like a fan, but I'm an honest fan. So I'm like, hey, I loved the first part, did not love the second win for her. Okay, speaking of musicians, most of our stories are musician related, which is kind of fun.
We have to give an honorable mention to Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs.
I should have put them on there.
It was so good. The way it even started, and it was zoomed in on the guitar, zoomed out to Tracy Chapman, and then everybody starts cheering, and you watch her realize that they're cheering for her. Yeah. And her smile gets like giant. Agreed. And that song is so beautiful.
I loved how not Grammys her outfit was. It was like so perfect, like plucked out of obscurity back into the limelight for such a beautiful song. I will say I'm obsessed with Luke Combs' version. Oh. I think better than Tracy Chapman's.
Luke Combs is everything.
Yes.
He is my favorite country music artist maybe ever.
He is so good. I also just love his personality, his vibe, everything about him he's wonderful.
I told you that's probably one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to. Yes. It's like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Luke Combs.
Yeah, I'm really excited to go to, I don't remember the last like true country concert I've been to. So taking Oliver to Morgan Wallen this year is going to be like so super exciting. Yeah. All right, Lil Jon is in the news. He is releasing a guided meditation album. What?
I'm so excited for this.
7.
It's kind of like at the beginning of the movie Booksmart where Maya Rudolph does the like motivational speech where she's like, you're better than everyone. Yes. F everyone. Like, that is actually what I want to listen to in the morning. Like, so if Lil Jon gives me that.
TMZ reports Lil Jon's finally answering his own age-old question. Turned down for what? Meditation. Because strange as it sounds, he's got a new album on the way, and that's more relaxing than his crunk sound. I forgot crunk was a word.
Crunk. Get crunk in here.
I actually think this is really genius.
Oh, so amazing.
Advice to people. It's kind of like my therapist introduced me to fake smoking. And I was like, I'm not going to do meditative breathing. You know, do you do breath work? No, I'm cool.
No,
but like the fake cigarette, I can do. This is in the same vein. It's like, hey, do you love meditation? No, but do you love Lil Jon guided meditation? I'm listening. That is where I'm at. I just think don't allow the snobbery of the practice to make it so narrow that you exclude people that may be more interested in going. If you have a little, okay, take a deep breath, okay. That's what I imagine it to be like. And then Usher.
No, my general advice is that like I'm gonna need like a full album from like comedians. Like I need a Tina Fey, an Amy Poehler, and a Maya Rudolph, i.e. Booksmart, to do like morning meditations, but they're just hysterically like so far fetched. Yeah. Of just like F everyone, you're amazing. Don't forget it. Like, kind of put a Beyonce song into a morning meditation and make it funny.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I just love the creativity, and I love when he's with his team and he's like, I've really been getting into meditation and fitness lately. That's what TMC's reporting. Like, oh, okay, cool. I think I want to do an album. Oh, we were afraid of that. Okay, so let's just plan then. So I will be listening. I am for sure going to give it a nice little...
We should do a live react. We'll do a video of us listening to it and reacting. We should.
We got to not stop promising videos, though, because...
we still have to do the Chick-fil-A.
We still have to do the Chick-fil-A video, which I almost went...
Content is really hard when your best friend almost dies, guys. So feel bad for me.
Exactly. You should be feeling bad for her. All right. King Charles, diagnosed with cancer. Prognosis is, quote, very good according to his doctors. It was caught very early. What are you laughing for, you sick? Just yell rip. Go right on ahead.
No, I'm laughing because Gabby said the funniest thing yesterday when we found this out, and it came back to mind, but it sounds like I was laughing that the king has cancer. What Gabby said was, turns out Camilla wasn't the only cancer in his life. It's maybe a good too soon, joke.
It's too soon, but agreed. Cackled. Gabby for the win.
It also might be the best thing that ever happens if, he were to pass from cancer.
Yeah, the thought that I had when I saw this was, oh my gosh, if he were to die, I'm not even knocking on wood. If he were to die and we had William and Kate, kind of like when Elizabeth became
like
queen.
At 40 years old.
A 40-year-old king, and then to have her be the queen and to have it be like a true young royal family. We get to watch all of the children ruin their lives, a la Prince Andrew. Like, it just it's so not exciting. Like Prince Andrew. I'm just saying, like, that level of it just gonna be bad. There's no possibility. I live for it.
Yep.
I hate King Charles. I hate him.
King Charles
for two reasons.
It really would be the best thing though for him to like. This sounds awful, but like to die a martyr.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. To be like he succumbed to a cancer diagnosis and didn't get to finish his whatever.
I thought it's prostate, right? Yeah, which is pretty easy to detect and also like pretty livable, unfortunately. We're
in trouble.
Hope no monarchs listen to this.
They don't. I can guarantee of the audience it does not include a royal family.
Like monarchists. I guess I meant monarchists. Like
or like loyalists to the crown or something. Oof. Yeah.
Do you think, I feel like there used to be kind of an element with the royal family of like, they don't really announce things until it's serious. Mm-hmm. Like the queen, I feel like they...
Or like Kate. Like Kate had abdominal surgery recently and then was in a coma and was hospitalized for 13 days. Like,
and they don't really tell you until it's like the point where they're like, oh, we really can't hold this off anymore. Do you think that it's bad enough that they wanted to tell people? Or do you think it's like not a big PR. Deal? They're just...
I think it's PR. I think his ratings are terrible. I think that his transition has been clumsy. And so this is a really great... Who knows if he actually has it? I mean, I could be a conspiracy theorist and think, what do we do? Maybe give him a cancer that can get treated. Okay, let's do it. I just am so cynical when I think about people that are in PR. I believe that the machine is so large, and I'm watching Scandal right now. So I
anything with Camilla and the king. I see Kate and William.
Agreed.
Like you don't hear anything about them, and in fact, you only hear negative things about them.
So general advice, their karma, you may argue.
It's dead silence. Actually, in regards to cancer, though, an actually sad thing. Toby Keith passed away this morning.
We were just going to talk about that. This morning, he just passed away. 2022, diagnosed with stomach cancer. A legend in so many ways. 62 years old.
Speaking of the American Revolution, that man wrote some bangers for the 4th of July. He has some American songs.
Yeah.
That, like, if you play it during a fireworks show, I'm crying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in tears.
Yeah.
Of some of the songs that you play for the 4th of July that are
right.
Toby Keith through and through. Very sad, though. Very, very sad.
All right. Usher strips down. So he's performing for the Super Bowl.
Yes. Do you know any of his songs in now?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah, is one of them?
Yeah. Because it's rumored Lil Jon is going to be, like, how could he not? He's almost a guarantee right now. But Usher is in Skims. He's in the new Skims campaign. Now, first off, body sick. However, I then went down a little rabbit hole.
Okay.
Because I saw these pictures and I thought, okay, at some point, the editing here around a particular part of his body.
Yeah.
I want to just know how trustworthy that is.
Yeah, of course.
Because when you compare some of the images, you get a very different...
Yeah, there's a discrepancy there.
There's a discrepancy in...
If you're the type of person who likes to zoom...
Yeah, if
like
you're...
Chase is.
If you're a expander...
Yeah.
Like a woo-woo... Yes, so I was looking at some of these and I thought, okay, that is not the same. Mm-hmm. So then I just wanted to like a little search to see what was out there.
You
just
went
like
on the dark web.
Yeah, I just was like, what about Dear Siri? Please show me whatever. And he had posted a nude of himself forever ago. It's like kind of covered.
Yeah.
But he looks very skinny. And I think he's actually, I bet if we were to meet him in real life, he looks like a beef daddy in this Skims hat.
I actually think it makes him look short.
Oh, no, I think he does look, I think he is not super tall.
I think he's like 5'9".
Excuse me. But I think real life him, I bet you is a lot smaller than you would suspect. But he be looking good.
Yeah, no. Honestly, Skims marketing right now has been killing it. Lana Del Rey was their like Valentine's model. Honestly, Skims is the best thing that ever happened to Kim Kardashian.
Agreed.
These marketing campaigns that she's been pushing out for them, good. She is doing good work there. Is it an unethical company? I don't know, but the marketing is killing it.
Yes, I am hopeful that his Super Bowl performance is bomb because his catalog is pretty impressive.
He's such a good dancer. His catalog is impressive. What do you think about it? Is impressive?
Okay, well, one, we went through this already because it's like, I don't know Usher, so we went through a bunch of songs of his.
Confessions, Burn.
But I've been watching him on, because I think the algorithm is pushing him in my For You. So I'm seeing a bunch of his performance clips and different collabs.
He's a phenomenal dancer.
But do you think that JB will be there?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think he was going to be a guest?
Who do you think I did originally.
Pick guest artists for him. So we know it'll be Lil Jon.
I think it'll be Lil Jon.
Do you think Luda?
He actually just did a song with a member of BTS, and I think that he could do that.
Like a BTS group or just
no, a member of BTS. Who? They split up.
Do you know what his name is?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea.
I don't know. Honestly, I could not tell you.
It's the choreography that I showed you that is like so good that Keon Madrid did.
Yes.
He did a version with him. So I think that's an option that he might do to bring him out and do that part of the song. I actually think it would be...
Has he done any collab? See, because...
Alicia Keys?
Oh, she'd be good. But did they do a song together?
They did My Boo together.
I'm just trying to think of if... So remember when Missy Elliott did it with Katy Perry?
Yes.
That was such a smart pairing because Missy could come out and do her own 2 or 3 songs.
I have to say though, Usher's catalog, he could stand up there for 10 minutes by himself.
No, what I'm saying though is that if you're going to bring a guest artist in, I love having like somebody totally different. Yeah. So if you had to pick someone he has not collabed with, female, surprise, everybody would go crazy, but not like Britney Spears or Madonna or somebody.
Maybe Ciara.
Yeah, I was thinking that Too Little 1-2 Step.
Yeah, I think Ciara would be cool. Ooh, who else? SZA, maybe.
I mean, she'd be really smart, or like Lizzo,
or Keke
because
Palmer.
Lizzo's trying to come back. She's, I think, making a. I think she's really trying.
I don't think that's a good audience for Lizzo. A bunch of like white men at the Super Bowl. I don't think that's
true.
A good market for Lizzo. They're just gonna be like, why did you bring that?
Who's your favorite Super Bowl halftime show performance?
Beyonce.
Which one?
Exactly.
No, which one though? You have to pick one.
No, the Beyonce one that she did alone.
Actual Beyonce, not her and Bruno Mars.
Not her and Bruno Mars and Coldplay. No, I liked the one that was her at Destiny's Child. Secondary, I'd probably say the Katy Perry one, just because it was like a whole freaking performance.
Iconic. The lion.
Like you still see the left shark reference in like so many things.
Fully.
Lady Gaga jumping off the top of the Superdome.
And then doing A Million Reasons. and with liberty and justice for all.
Sometimes when like I'm having a hard day at work, I'll send that to my coworkers. She's like, going to the roof. Because it's such a funny meme. Bruno Mars was also an amazing song.
Bruno Mars was amazing. I think for me, my number one probably was Beyonce by herself.
Yeah.
And then Destiny's Child surprising and coming up. That was fire. Or Gaga. I think I like Gaga more than Katy Perry's, although Katy Perry's up there.
Yeah.
And then I did kind of like the Shakira J-Lo.
Oh, that one was good.
Because it was chaotic of like older women.
I can't not mention that part of the Super Bowl.
Okay, wait. Who would be the biggest surprise? Who would be the biggest surprise guest performer at the Super Bowl with him? And I just thought of it.
What?
Remember we talked before? I forget when we were talking about guests.
You said Weird Al.
No, or Susan Boyle.
Susan Boyle, yeah.
The Susan Boyle of it all. I'm still really hoping.
Yeah, he heard you.
Like I hope that he just is like. What about like Christina Aguilera? She's kind of having a comeback. She's also has a residency in Vegas. She's my actual dark horse to join Usher on stage. It's in Vegas, so she's already there. Super easy for her to pop in. She presented at the Grammys.
Yeah.
I think she's
That's not a bad idea.
I think she's if I'm putting money in Vegas on someone, I'll put $20.
I think Usher's going to do a fantastic show, though. I'm so excited.
Agreed, but you have to pick who's your dark horse collab. It can't be Lil Jon, can't be like Ciara. I think
SZA is a good one.
Okay, SZA is yours.
Especially given like her wins.
So if either of us, if it's Christina for me or SZA for you, if it's SZA for you, I'll give you $20. If it's Christina for me, you owe me $20.
Okay, perfect.
We're betting, and
it's gonna be neither.
Oh, for sure. This is a wash. But I love watching it, and then just the goop that we'll feel.
But if it's Keke Palmer, everybody gets $20.
What we're gonna do? This is gonna be. I gotta write this down. This is gonna be our little prompt for the week. Who do you think would be the most surprising guest artist in the Super Bowl?
Surprising, but makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there is still correlation. We're not talking about Weird Al. We're not talking about,
I mean.
But if Weird Al came out, that kind of would be iconic.
It's so funny. He just starts, because you're fat. Oh, that's so funny. All right.
Oh, wait, pause. I got new nails.
Oh, thanks, Amanda.
Salty Nails UT on Instagram.
Yeah,
if you need
it's almost
a new
as
nail
though
person.
They're sponsoring this, but they could, but they don't. Gosh, I need to reach out to our sponsor again.
Oh, yeah. Amanda, if I give you a free set, will you sponsor an episode? Or if you give me a free set?
That's true.
Sorry.
Okay.
Just kidding. I want to support your
Demi Lavato is at the American Heart Association Gala. She has the opportunity to sing a song.
Yeah, she sang a few.
She sang a few. One of them included the song Heart Attack. I think I have a heart attack.
Are you okay? Like, what? How?
Now she's defending it. Her camp's defending it, saying, one, the song was vetted. But here's the thing. When you have Demi Lovato, she is a huge name. You're not going to say to her, we don't want you to sing Heart Attack. When she says, I want to sing Skyscraper, I want to sing this, and I want to sing Heart Attack, they're not going to say, no, we don't want you to sing that. So this idea, like, well, it got greenlit. Well, of course it's going to get greenlit. You're at A-list.
I don't care if it got greenlit.
No, she also, her camp is trying to say,
passed that through the line. But that was not, like...
This is what the representative had to say. She spoke on the mind-heart connection. It was a sensitive moment intended to champion the women in the room, the very reason why Demi was at this event. She did open with a beautiful intro on why she chose the song and addressed to the room, talking about the mind and heart connection. It was actually a beautiful moment. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Nobody was singing there. You're singing, I think I had a heart attack.
Did you know that Heather Dubrow was there?
No.
Heather Dubrow was there because she took a picture with her.
Oh, really?
And I just need Heather Dubrow's thoughts.
I don't follow Heather
Dubrow. I just saw it on like Twitter or something. Yeah. But if Heather Dubrow thought it was inappropriate, then I believe her.
Yeah. Oh, agreed. What Heather has to say, what would Heather say? WWHS.
I have to imagine the room was like, say psych right now.
I think everyone's like clapping, like Skyscraper, like, gosh, it's so good. And then she starts intros.
I think I have a heart attack.
And then everyone's like,
never put my heart out on the line. And everybody was like,
yeah, my dad died of heart
disease.
Say
psych right now. Say psych right now. Like, I would be looking around the room like we're being punked.
Yeah, it was just so tasteless to me. General advice when speaking at an event like the American Heart Association, don't sing about heart attacks. Yeah, I can't believe I'm giving that advice, but I guess it needs to be done.
It's not a room full of people. Like some articles were like, sings heart attack to a room full of people who've had a heart attack. No, this is a room full of rich people who have paid for a table at a gala.
Yeah, this was not at a hospital.
This is not Chase in the room being like, why
with
are you
my heart monitor?
It's a heart monitor being like,
yeah, I'm hoping not a heart attack. You're right. That's why they're monitoring me so I stop having heart attacks. Yeah, it's just it's so blind. Yeah. And I love social blindness.
She kind of,
it's long, it's hard to navigate.
That's been her pattern, though.
Yeah.
Is social blindness.
Okay, our final story, Kandi Burruss exit Real Housewives of Atlanta after 14 seasons. She will not be coming back this year. She leaves the door open. Right now it's been confirmed that, or strong rumor, Kenya and Portia have received full contracts.
I think Kenya put that out. I think Kenya said...
Kenya's tried to hitch her wagon to the Portia train.
Exactly.
Yeah. I could see that being realistic. But Kandi Burruss is out. Yeah. She's worldwide, but she is not Atlanta housewife anymore. We're going to start
seeing her on some other reality TV shows.
Now, we had talked about this with respect to the New York housewives, which right now is rumored that now they'll be kind of meshing some of the legacy and some of the new castmates. I don't know if that'll happen.
The new season.
What?
I haven't watched the new season.
I liked it. It was decent.
Yeah.
But I love a rebrand, refresh, reface of a housewife.
Is one of the funniest housewives.
I know. Did you watch her
time.
On Life on Mars?
No.
It was a competition show. Trip. She was hilarious on Life on Mars. She's so good naturally. TV. Agreed. And I think she's extremely aware. She's not Sonia Morgan funny where she's super unaware.
Yeah, and you're like delusional.
I think she's really, really smart. But it's rumored. Dang, I just was seeing somebody's ex-wife is rumored
George Clooney's
ex
saw that too.
Is rumored to be in talks for a rebrand.
Or do we think that she just put that out there herself? Because she was the one who like tweeted something that sparked the rumor.
I don't know. Now, after we talked about the King Charles team like fabricating cancer to help
everything's
his PR,
a lie.
Everything is an absolute lie.
Yeah, everything is performative.
This isn't
when
even
it comes
real.
to
This podcast is a lie. The spirit of that just like entered both of our bodies at the same time.
Speaking of not real, us literally being
insane
brainwaves.
All right, we are now going to recap finally. Let's do Traitors first, then we'll do Stardust, then I'll introduce the new movie.
Traitors I am only on like episode 4. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. So we're still outing the last episode. So just kidding. I won't tell you who gets out. Phaedra, amazing, iconic. Dan comes for Phaedra in episode 5.
Yes.
It does cost him his game.
Yeah, of course. Because you
do not come for Phaedra
unless
Parks.
she sends for you.
Without question. I'm obsessed with Parvati. I'm really glad they brought Parvati in. I think she's playing a tough game now. Yeah. I think it's a battle. They needed to have gotten rid of Sandra earlier, or and it'll be interesting. So they didn't get anybody out on the most recent episode, but so they're gonna have to recruit with Dan being gone. Pilot P is a surprise to me. He has a pretty good play. I think
if you guys don't understand, if you guys want to understand Phaedra Parks more, I need you to look up Phaedra Park reads Kenya Moore. Reunion, because then you will know that Phaedra Parks is not one to trifle with. She literally says the meanest thing I have ever heard somebody say.
All you'll know about your baby daddy is that he needed $5 for a medium-sized pizza, so he ejaculated so that you could have a child. Now check that.
The silence was deafening.
I haven't even seen that in forever. That has been burned into my
100%. I watched it.
Cortex.
I watched that in high school live. I watched that on TV when it happened, and I paused it.
In high school, she's doing geometry.
I was literally horrified that she said it. It was the best read I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, and it was obviously something that she'd had strung before.
So I have to tell you, I would never say something mean or call out Phaedra Parks, because the way that she would say something that I would be in therapy another 4 years for, it's crazy. So I was like, oh, you did not do your research on this woman before you decided to turn on her.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. The show is without question the best show on TV right now.
It's so
perfect. I'm really glad Tamra got out because she drives me nuts.
Yeah, no.
I love Sheree. She's, first off, we've talked about this. I think she's one of the most beautiful housewives in any franchise. I
have to say, pause back to the first episode. The peppermint of it all was a little bit Karen to me.
Agreed.
I was like, is nobody gonna say that this is a little bit white woman manager? She was so offended by me. She was I was like, all of you are literally I was like, is nobody gonna say we're literally targeting?
I would have loved Peppermint to have had one more house or one more drag queen there to kind of kiki with. I think being trans is a very isolating, even in Hollywood, even on a TV
that's
show.
That's why I was just watching, just being like, oh.
Now, do I think Peppermint played a tough game by being a little too brash?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, she did not help herself, especially her Freudian slip.
Agreed. Twice.
Yeah.
She had 2 kind of slips.
But I was a little bit the guy who's from Dancing with the Stars of being
Maxim Cherkowski.
This seems a little made up and fabricated. That's why I was like,
yeah, he kind of came to her defense, and I was like,
and then Sheree did, and then she flopped, and I was like, Sheree,
I know, Sheree, come on. And then Trishelle is the girl that kind of white Karen'd her, and Trishelle's famous for. Did you ever watch The Challenge with her? She's a controversial character for sure for being extreme. I was a little sad because I do think that Peppermint would have been good TV.
Yep.
Although candidly, I think there were better drag queens you could have had.
Oh, great. Bob,
wait, Monet.
Did you see that Bob and
Maddie are beefing? Yes.
So
Maddie
funny.
Is hilarious because Trixie was eating Maddie up in Pit
Trixie
Stop.
Was like,
and was like, you need to come back. You should do this all the time. He's like, yeah, I have a show. I followed your model, actually. Do terrible on Drag Race and then have a podcast. And Trixie's like, wait, what? I think Maddie will be excellent on All Stars. I actually think she's solidifying a seat in All Stars. Anyway, so the peppermint of it all, I'm obsessed with Alan Cummings, the host.
Oh, amazing. The outfits, the
so
looks.
Over the top. It's so perfect. I really didn't love that Johnny Bananas went home so early because I love Johnny Bananas. He's so chaotic energy. But Johnny Bananas would have been a better traitor. If I was just thinking about Dan. Dan to me would have been a better player as a faithful.
I just like I don't know where Dan is from. I don't know this man.
He's from Big Brother. He is a famous Big Brother player. He played twice. But I just think it would have been better for them to have made one of the challenge 3, Bananas, CT, or Trishelle a traitor, than having made a Big Brother player, because if you're going to make a Big Brother player, it should have been
people
Janelle.
Are literally the most competitive people on earth,
and they're the ones who I think they're most cutthroat as well.
Yes, agreed, because they're so competitive.
And that show is designed to take your best friend and be completely willing to sacrifice them. I was surprised that Phaedra was willing to get rid of Tamra. And then like but I'm saying like to sacrifice, because I just think that that's more of a stretch for her. Yeah. But it's so good. I seen spoilers of who makes the top 5 because of how when they did like this season on the Traitors, people could piece together who's sitting on a boat. And so I won't spoil any of that, but I'm kind of rooting for the faithful this time. Normally I root for the Traitors, but I'm kind of rooting for the faithful this time more than the Traitors.
But it is also uninteresting if at least one traitor doesn't make it to the end. So I'll be curious.
They have to. I think they'll always have a traitor in like the final episode. Yeah. They're not going to just have faithfuls. They'll recruit someone.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Stardust.
Okay. You go first.
I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
Because I
already gave
thoughts.
you my feedback. Yeah.
You said that was weird.
Yeah, very much. So
when I rewatched it, maybe it's also because I read the book. I love that movie so much. I think it is like what I thought Poor Things was going to be. It is kitschy. It is campy. It is weird and silly and like unserious in the best ways. I just like love how magical and like fun it is, while also like having funny one-liners, being an interesting magic system, being like an interesting story overall. I, for one, loved it. I was so happy rewatching it. I was enthralled.
Now, I'll say the pros first.
Yeah, please.
Robert De Niro.
Amazing.
Insane. So funny. Iconic. I thought the acting was really, really great. Super fanciful. Michelle Pfeiffer is stunning.
Yeah.
And also like a really good actress. Like
honestly, I think to that performance.
We're so pretty. It's hard to almost like give
that and Catwoman. It's like point to those two performances.
Yeah, and be like, ooh. She was great.
Yeah.
I kept hoping that it was based on like a Shakespearean play to explain the oddity. It wasn't.
No, just a book.
Just odd. I found myself being completely comfortable closing my eyes and then like coming back and being like, I don't think I missed anything. It was not for me. That will not be a movie I will watch again. I was glad that it was free on Amazon Prime, so I didn't have to.
Someone messaged us that it's their favorite movie ever.
Who did?
Somebody on. Well, don't say it like that. They're one of our good baddies, you jerk.
Okay, but first off, there are a lot of movies.
They literally messaged our good baddie account.
I know, but I don't have access to that account
ever.
anymore because I had to reset my dumb phone. Hey, AT&T and Apple, like get your shiz together. I hate what they've done on my phone. I have to keep resetting it. It's not for me, for sure. We
watched it with Bailey and she loved it as well.
Oh, that's good.
It's very, like, I think you can watch that movie with, like, children.
Yeah, there's nothing.
It's very fanciful. It's very, like, I think it is so campy.
Interesting. I think, yes, I will agree with that. That lens makes it a little bit more palatable for me. I mean, I'll never rewatch it by choice. And I wouldn't watch it on a TV show if I was flipping through.
Yeah.
But it wasn't terrible. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
But I like a lot of movies.
You are entitled to your wrong opinion.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But the one thing I will say I struggled a little bit with was Michelle Pfeiffer and the two other witches are just trying to stay looking young.
Yeah.
And she can temporarily do that, but not long term, so she needs a fairy heart to eat it.
Star heart?
A star heart. Wait, is it a star heart or a fairy heart?
It's a star. She's a star.
Got it.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, I tried real hard. Like I said, kind of one eye open, one eye wishing I was. The
plot is pretty like
thin.
There.
Yeah.
It's pretty there.
But I have a question. So were all three witches going to share a heart?
Yeah.
So
that's how they had lived so long previously.
But is it a proportionate thing, or just like you need to like?
No.
So we cut it into thirds, or like we be saving a heart for later? Like I just take like a little sliver. In the very
beginning, she takes the last of the last heart that they had.
Got it.
That's how she gets young again. So they're getting another heart because it's like
food storage.
Yes, exactly.
Like food storage for human hearts, or star hearts.
Like eternal life.
But not really, because it expires.
Immortal life, I guess.
And not really immortal because it also expires.
I mean, if one person consumed the whole heart, is kind of what they say.
Got it.
But like, I was having a hard time following between the friends.
The like contempt she had for the heart. That was the hard part for me. Yeah. I was like, wait, there's these two other sisters back here, so we're all just like, why didn't they go looking for a heart too? And why can't they just use their evil power? Like, that's where it was falling short for me. Mm-hmm. But then again, I wasn't really watching.
Yeah, clearly.
But I've decided the February movie, since you did January. Okay, please. I figure that this will allow me to, so you'll pick for odd months, I'll pick for even months, which means I'll get to pick for October, which is when we'll do Practical Magic, which is really the only thing that I care about.
Lovely.
But this is a movie that we both love, but I want to watch it again for a month of love, and then talk about it, is About Time.
Oh.
So About Time is one of my absolute favorite movies, and not a lot of people have watched it.
Yeah, that's
and so I'm really excited to encourage people for the month of February. The movie is About Time. There is ne'er a movie that I will watch that can absolutely bring me to the brink of joy and
absolute
tears.
Devastation.
Like watching About Time. It's
not devastation though.
Not devastation.
It's, like,
it's just tears, like emotional. And I cannot wait to talk about it.
I love About Time. I'm so happy.
But I will preface this by saying, when I got divorced over a decade ago, mm-hmm. I was driving up to pick up my kids, who were about 45 minutes away, and I was listening to the radio. I don't know why. I just was like, oh, listen to the radio. And I win things on the radio all the time.
Yeah.
Like that. I just am really lucky. Caller 6, and like, hey, you're caller 6. Oh my gosh. And I won Lady Gaga tickets. And at that time I needed money. So I just would win things and sell it, things and sell. Well, one of the things I won was About Time, Blu-ray, digital copy, whatever. And my ex had the Apple TV account.
Yeah.
So I had to start over, completely brand new. The very first movie I bought
was
the movie that I won. The first digital copy I put in was About Time. And so I think I have like even more like of a connection of like, this is a new chapter, this is a new life. About Time is like really symbolic for that. So I'm really excited for everyone to watch it. I don't know where you can watch it. I'm assuming
I think it's on Netflix, actually. I think they put it on Netflix recently.
That would really make sense. Let me just double check so you can direct that.
Is rated R, mostly because I think of F words.
Yes.
It's not Bella Baxter, Poor Things rated R. I think there is one scene, like there's sexual implications.
Innuendos.
In scenes, like there's innuendos, but it's not
say it's
crass.
graphic.
It's not graphic at all.
I'm actually surprised it's rated R.
Mm-hmm. I think mostly because of F words. There's like 2 or 3 in there.
Yeah, I would be I don't think it's a watch with your kids if it's a language issue.
And also, they're not like violent. It's not violent F words. Like I think it's more of
it's
like
British F words, which is like
if it's the same director of Love Actually.
Yep.
So if you like Love Actually, you're gonna love this. Young Margot Robbie is in it.
Yep.
Domhnall Gleeson, Bill Nighy,
Rachel McAdams, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
And then it's available. It's not free. That's the only thing.
It's not on Netflix? Really?
I just checked. You can watch it on Vudu, on Apple TV. You can rent it for $3-4.
Oh, okay.
If you need to watch it and you're like, I don't have money, just message us and we'll Venmo you money to pay for the thing only for 10 people.
Yeah.
We'll give 10
Message
spots
Chase,
away.
He's richer.
Message me and I will send you guys $5, $4 for the movie and $1 for a
But
a
I
treat.
have to tell you also, it is such a good movie. Watch it with like somebody who's going to pay attention with you, because I tried to have people watch it with me once and it actually enraged me that they weren't paying attention.
Agreed.
So
This is like a movie that actually is really dear to my heart, so I would never watch it with someone who wouldn't be willing to sit there and cry with me and hold hands and be like, this is so beautiful, life is so beautiful. So I'm really excited for everyone to watch it. It's beautifully done, I think, and I love it so much.
Ugh, gorgeous.
Okay, this has been a very long episode. We got to call it like our fatty musician episode or something, because we had so many. It's a fat episode because it's very big. Yeah. And then it was a lot of musical people. Usher, musician. Demi Lavato.
Okay. I don't know about that. I think we'll workshop it.
No, I love it. You'll know. Oh, password for the kids is Stanley Tucci. Because I bought one of my very favorite films. I was going to have it be movie of the month, but you actually can't find it anywhere. It's not online. It's not digital anywhere, which is so weird. Yeah. But Undercover Blues is a movie. Dennis Quaid. Anyways, Stanley Tucci's in it. He plays Muerte. My name means death. Growing up, that was one of my absolute favorite movies. When I was really sick, I was just browsing Amazon.
Trying to find it.
And I found it from like a third party, whatever, used Blu-ray. It's not digital copy, so I'm gonna have to also buy a Blu-ray player or like somehow watch it on my computer. I am so excited to watch it. It was one of my absolute favorite movies. I'll give it to you so you can watch after. Do you have a Blu-ray player?
No.
Do you have a way to watch Blu-rays?
No.
Okay, I'll give you like my disc ROM or whatever.
Oh, the like portable DVD players.
Yeah, I have one of those. To be able to watch it, because it's actually a really, really fun movie.
Perfect.
So wait, why was I just talking about that?
Stanley Tucci.
Oh, Stanley Tucci is my is the code word for the kiddos.
Perfect.
All right, anything else before we get out?
No. Happy birthday, Traven.
Happy birthday, Traven. We love you and we love everybody. Thank you for being patient last week. Go get your flu shot. Yeah. So you don't get sick like I got sick.
Or take your zinc and vitamin C.
Yes.
If you're not a shot person.
Definitely. Okay, bye.
Bye.